Hello friends, welcome to the part 3 of Rust Async series, and in this part we are going to see the file input output. So let's just start. Okay, so this is our directory structure. Let me create the file first, part 3 of file io.rs, and this is the file. Okay, so we already have the Tokio create edit. So let me add the attribute. Okay. And we'll create the function called main. Just show the message to the user. Rust, or we can say that async file samples. So let's test this file. Cargo run dash bin. What's the file name? Part 3 file IO. Okay, so async file IO examples is working perfectly fine. And so this is related to the file input output, and of course without any doubt we have to deal with the file. So let's create create a sample file. Create sample file function. Function will be create sample file. Sample file. We have created this function because we are going to create one file which we are going to use throughout our examples. And this current code will be consist of the multiple examples. So let me create a variable called file, and this is the important thing. Okay, we have to import the file from the Tokio FS file system and not the standard library. Okay, we should not have to use the because we are dealing with the async await, and async await is only available for the Tokio. For the standard library, if you import it from that, you will get an error. So let me import from that, and the file name will be example.txt. Okay, file will also be this should be immutable, and file have the function called what function, write all function. And the first thing, the file data should be, I think it should be a best practice to, the data should be in the form of the logs kind of a file. So first thing will be info, and we can say that application started, and this is the, and then the second one will be info again. I think it's pretty fine. It's a loading configuration. Okay, and the third thing will be, I think a warning will be fine. Cache miss or user 1 2 3. Yeah. We have to use it out of it. Now we have the info warning, and this time we are going to use the error as well. Error will be fail to connect to the database. It's up to you, it's your choice. All of this data is a very, it's kind of a dummy data. So you can write your own file, and now we can say that like trying again. Okay, and last thing will be, I think it's the info successfully connected, and we have to prompt the user as well that what we have done, we have created sample file, or we can say that created sample file, and we have created the new line. Okay, so now we will say that create sample file, create sample file dot wait. So let's test this. Right now our directory doesn't have any kind of the example.txt file, so let's test this now. Okay, we will got the first from async file IO examples sample file, created sample file. Okay, now let's check the directory. So sample file is created, we have the info, warning, error, and info again. Okay, so it's fine now. Okay, so let's start by writing our first code example, and this example will be, example one will be like a simple file reading, and we will create the function called entire file. This will be a appropriate name, and box will be standard error. We will prompt the user example one, this is the example first, and reading the entire file. Okay, so the first thing we need is the file here. File will be of sample.txt. Okay, I think we should have to define this example.txt in the constant variable, because we are going to use it throughout our code examples. So let me create a constant called file name, and name will be in example.txt. Also we have to change here for the create part, where we are creating the new file. So let me add the file name here, and for the example one we should have to update this as well. Instead of the hard coded, we will say that file name. Okay, so we have the file, and we are going to read the entire file. So for that we need a mutable contents, and string will be of new, and file a function called read to string, but we have to import it from the Tokio, and the mutable contents we are going to pass it. We can say that file contents will be a contents, and okay, so one minor mistake, it should be a mutable variable, so it's totally fine. So let's call this we can say that run examples read entire file dot await. Okay, Okay, so example one, reading the entire file, and we got the file contents. I think we should have to add the line break as well. We have to add it here. Let me run it again. Okay, so this time file contents will be info warning error info. It's fine, all the data is successfully there. Okay, so now let's create another example. This time we have read the entire file by simple file reading method, and example 2 will be, I think, reading buffered, or we can say that buffer reading line by line. Okay, and the function will be async function buffered reading, and the box, we have to define the box standard error, and the first prompt will be example 2. Example 2 will be buffer reading. Okay, and okay, so the first thing we need is the file, which will be a file open, and we have to pass the file name, right? Okay, and the second thing, we need the reader. Reader will be and we have, okay, so this one is as well, we are going to use the BufReader, and the BufReader struct will be imported from the Tokio, not from the standard library. Okay, so we will import, we don't have to import it from the standard grade, we have to import it from the Tokio, and we have the new, we only have to pass the file. Okay, so now we have the file. Okay, and what else, we need some kind of a loop where we'll read each line in one step. So for that reason, I think we can say that we should have mutable, what we call that variable, or line num will be 0, and this reader will have next line, not next line, I think we need, okay, so we need another variable which will be lines, and reader dot lines function, we will call that, and this line function will have the next line, and on next line we have the await, and if I show you, this next line will return the, I think, yeah, it's the option, yeah, result will be an option string. So by doing this, we can easily use the loop while let some, you can say that some line will be, okay, and we just print the line, okay, number, and what else, we have the file, we have the reader, we have the line, and this will be a line. Okay, the first thing will be line num, okay, and the second thing will be not yeah, line num, and the second thing will be a line. Okay, I think first will be, we have to update the line number as well, we have missed that part. So the line num will be plus equal to 1. Okay, it should be immutable as well, and not mutable. I think we have missed the question mark. Okay, and we are performing the next line operation, so it should be immutable. Okay, I think nothing else. Number, and it should be start from the 1. It should be 1. Okay, so now let's call this example by saying that buffer reading dot await. Let's test this. So this is our second example. Okay, it's working perfectly fine. 1 2 3 4 and 5 6. Also we should have to remove the line break because no, we don't need the line break here. So this is our second example, and where we have buffer reading. So now let's create the third example, and the Rust Async is amazing thing, and it's pretty fast. You can easily achieve many things with these kind of the grades. So let me create another example called the third one will be, okay, so example 3 will be write to a file, and should be an async function. Write file, and we are going to use the result here, and the box dynamic, and the print message will be example 3 and writing to a file. Okay, so for the writing part, what we are going to do, we need the file, and it will be a mutable file, and file will be, we are going to create the new file called the output.txt. So we have the file now, and we have to write it. We just simply have to call the write all, and from a bytes writing from, we can say that Rust Async and new line. Okay, file dot write all. Another line will be, we can say that Rust Async examples. Okay, and we will use the await, and we have missed the question mark here. Okay, so we have also, I think we should have to prompt the user as well. Return to output.txt file. Just simply call the OK. Okay, we have saved it. And now call this write to file.await, and I think we should have to comment these first two examples for now. Let me run this. Okay, and okay, so we have the already to output.txt file. Now let's check the file. We have the output.txt and writing from Rust Async examples. It's perfectly fine. So now let's create another example An example will be like we have another example will be this example will be, I think, so we have read the entire file, we have buffer read, we have write to file. Now I think it should be a best approach to use the buffered writing. We can say the more efficient, yeah, where, and we will create a function called the yeah, buffered writing will be a fine name, and we will use the result box dynamics error, error, okay, and we will prompt the user, and prompt the user will be we can say that example 4 will be buffered writing. Okay, so for the buffer writing part, what we need, first thing we need is the file, and the file will be, we are going to create a new file with the name buffered output.txt. Okay, so and also now we need the writer. For that we are going to use the BufWriter, but again from the Tokio. Okay, and the new, and we are going to pass the file. So we have the writer now, and now we will, I think we should have to use some loop here for I in 1 to 1000 line will be fine, and just print, use the, what we can say, we can say that writer, not a print, we have to use the writer dot write. There is a write function, I think. Let me check the documentation for that. Okay, we have the write function. I have opened the Tokio documentation. Where is that function? No, I think it's a write all function. Yeah, I think, yeah, yes, write all function, and the write all function will be, you can use that the format. In the format we can say that line will be this, and new line added to the, you can say that I, and also we have to change it to the bytes, and written 1000 lines to, or not to, we can say that was 1000 lines. Okay, and we have to use student. Okay, oh, okay, so I don't know why every time I miss this mutable thing. It should be a mutable, and I think we are good to go now. We can easily test that by comment this, and we will call the buffered writing dot create, and let me test this again. Okay, and we are going to use written 1000 lines. We got the message. Let me test this by checking the file. Where is the file? Okay, so file name is buffered output.txt, and we have the 1000 lines. Why it's only 830 lines? Even 30 lines where it's only, the source code again. Where is the bin folder? One to 1000, and we have used the, is this the write all function? I don't think so. Any kind of the issue with this write all function. I don't know why it's only written the, because there is nothing else. I have to wait the, yeah, it's the write all function. And let me delete this file again. Why there's not loop remember for the 1000 lines? Okay, let me test this one more time. Okay, within 1000 lines. Why it's only moved to the 830? So we will debug this later. I don't know what's the issue here. So to think should have to check for the and right. Okay. Yeah, it's written 999. Maybe it's some kind of the file permission issue. I don't know. The loop is working perfectly fine. I don't know, maybe some kind of the issue with the write all function, or I don't know. But I will debug this later. So let's move to the another example. So we have used the read the entire file, use the the buffer reading and simple writing and the buffer writing, and what else I think we can do, if I search for anything else, any input output file kind of the examples. What else we can do? I think example 5 will be processing. I think there is another way of processing file. I think what can we do with okay, so let's say we have the large file and we want to read the data in the form of chunks. So we can say the processing large files chunks, and async function will be process file chunks, dynamic this is an example 5. Processing large file into chunks. Okay, so for reading, first thing we need the file, and file will be open, and it should be not option, open, and open will be a file name. And the second thing we need the mutable, or we can say right now the reader, and the reader will be a BufReader new, and we are going to pass the name. Okay, so we have the file, we have the reader. Now we need some kind of the vector to read that data in the form of the chunks. For that we can say that we will define the buffer, and the buffer will be the vector, and each slot will be a byte, and we need the 64 slots. So this will read the 64 bytes of the data, and nothing else, only every time it will get the 64 bytes. Okay, also I think we should need okay, so we have the file and we have to loop through, and but we want to read some chunks. For that we can use the loop here, and we can say that not bytes read will be, we have the reader, and read function, we have the read function, and we need to pass the mutable buffer here. Okay, and if bytes read is equal to 0, it means it's an end of the file. We have to break the loop. Also if bytes read equal to 0, it means the end of the file. Okay, and also one more thing, we should have to there is some kind of the total bytes of data need, like mutable total bytes read, and this will be by default 0, and we have to update this variable as well. We can say that total bytes equal to bytes read. We will prompt to the user also I think, yeah, this read function will return the bytes. Yes, so let me check the read documentation here. Okay, yes, this I'm checking the okay. Maybe there's some kind of the okay, so we can say that to read bytes and total as well. Say that bytes read and total bytes. Okay, I'm getting the is really from the loop labeled block when break is encountered execution of okay. Now what? And we can say that, so now we have we know how many bytes we have read, and total bytes also. Now we need to use the chunks, can say a string from here. We have to convert the bytes to string. For that we are going to use the from UTF at lossy. And what do we need to pass? We need to pass the, what's this function will expect? This function will expect the vector, and we have the vector, which is the uh, buffer, and we have to pass the bytes read. Okay, and now we can say that chunks will be chunks, and last thing will be total bytes read. Total bytes will be what we have, the total bytes. So let's test this. We cannot borrow as a mutable. Okay, we have to use this reader as a mutable. I don't know why every time I miss this. Okay, I think we haven't called this function. Yeah, we have to call this function, and function is the what's the function name? Process change.create, and let's run this again. Okay, processing large file into chunks. The first, the read 64 bytes and total 64. The chunks, as you can see, chunks is the info and application started, and info read chunks and error and read chunks 50. Okay, so last time we don't have any much left in the file, so there is nothing, so that's why we have to read the 50 bytes, and the total is 178. And for successfully, so total bytes read is the 178 bytes. Okay, and it's working perfectly fine. Let me exit it, and we have to add the, what we have to do, we have to add the line break here as well before this. Okay, let's try it one more time. Okay, it's fine now. Okay, so we have created the 5 examples, and what else? Any other example? So we have created the file which is exactly like the log, kind of the info, like the log info, and I think we can create another example called the 6th one will be, it's called the real, you can say that real world logs log file. The function name will be async analyze. I think, yeah, it's the proper name. Is log file. Okay, function was missing. Make and standard error. Is the example 6, and I think this will be a last example. We don't have to write any other code. This will be fine. So we can say that analyze log file, and the log file will be okay. So we have to analyze the log file. In the log file we have added the info, warning and the error. I think uh, for the analyze part we need the file, and file will be the same file, the file name, and we have to wait it. Okay, and also we need the reader. Reader will be, this time I don't think so we should have to use the reader, will be a BufReader, pass the file. So we have the file, we have the reader. Now what? I think this analyze this function will do like it will analyze that how many errors we have, how many warnings we have, and how many info we have within that file, and also what's the length of the ledger, any kind of like it's like it's the length of the any states, any kind of the log states. We should have to total like the length here of all lines, and for that I think we need to define some struct here, which will be a much better approach here. Let's define a struct called log states, and states will be, the first one will be in the log state is the total lines, and the size will be an u size because we don't know about the size, the actual length, and we need the errors which will be also of the u size. Then we have the warnings which will be a u size as well, and then we have the what errors, log and log, no, okay, so the total lines, errors, warnings, and what info. Okay, so we need the info. And one more thing, we should have to calculate the longest line, so we can say that longest line length. Okay, and also we need the attribute for that, which is the derive, and we need the debug and default as well, because for that we are going to use the default values for all that. And okay, so we have the, where we have the example 6, and what we need to do also, I think we, for the analyze part, we should have to pass the file name here, which we can say that file name will be str. Instead of using this constant, we are going to use the argument. Okay, what do we need? We need the mutable lines, and we have the read lines. Then we need the what we need? We need the mutable reference to the states. You can say that log states, and we have the default value. Okay, so now we can use the while loop for that, and we have some line. Then what we need to do, we have the lines dot next line dot await. Okay, so the first thing, we are in the loop, so it means the file have some kind of the data, so we can say that states dot a line total lines plus equal to 1. And now we can say that stats dot errors, not errors, I think we should have to, yeah, state dot what we need to do, we have the line dot, there is a function called contains, and if it's contain the error, then it means we should have to increment the errors part. States dot errors will be plus equal to 1. For the else if part, we can say that if line dot contains the info, if it's contain the info, then we have the state dot info will be equal to 1. And last, for the last second, we have the, what we have the info and warnings. Okay, or we can say that not all of them, maybe we can use the, yeah, we can what we have the warnings, it should be bn equal to 1. Okay, and for the we have updated the total lines, errors, info, and warnings, but now there is a length. For that we can say that line dot length is greater than states dot longest length. Then what we need to do, state dot longest length will be equal to line dot length. Okay, so we have updated all these parts, and for the okay part we have to return the states. And what do we need to do, we have to update the return type as well. Instead of the empty parentheses, we have to say that this will be a log states. Okay, and in the main function, let me comment this and create a variable called states. States will be, and we are going to call the analyze, and we are going to pass the file name dot await, and the print will be analyzing log file, and for it will be okay, and we are going to pass the states. Okay, okay, so let's test this. Okay, so we have the analyze log file. Analyzing log file, we have the total 6 lines. Yeah, so 1 error, 1 warning, and the 4 info, and the longest line length is 40. Okay, let me open this file, the example.txt again, and we have the 4 info, 1 error, and 1 warning. It's perfectly fine, and we have the 6 length, which is fine as well. So I think that's enough for now, and I hope you guys learn new thing. I hope you guys learn about the Rust async file input output, and we have created the 6 examples with a clean code. I will push the code and attach the link in the description as well, so you guys can run these examples and test it on your machines as well. Okay, so okay, see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.